Hello, and welcome back to the Pretty Little Podcast. We're your hosts.
My name's Phoebe.
And my name is Caroline. And today, Phoebe and I just both cracked open what I thought was a fresh DC, a fresh Diet Coke. And then I see she's drinking a Diet Dr. Pepper. So I guess we're not as in sync as I thought.
Well, it's just what's in the fridge at the moment, so.
And sometimes it is just what's in the fridge. You know what I mean?
Right.
You're like, okay, today's just it's just what's in the fridge today. That's just the kind of day it is. I need to start off today by talking about this new saying that I kind of unintentionally created and decided to start sprinkling around my day-to-day, vernacular.
Okay.
And that's the phrase, I'm a dead horse. And I'll tell you a little bit about how I came here, okay? I was talking to someone, I don't know who, and I was like about to say, maybe this is beating a dead horse. But then I also started saying, I'm a broken record. And instead my brain just kind of combined the two sayings into I'm a dead horse, which I think is crazy. But that's what it means. It means the same thing as I'm a broken record, I'm beating a dead horse. I am a dead horse. So next time I say something to you that like I'm just like, okay, no, I'm a dead horse, but like this is what, you know what I mean? It works, right?
I think so. I think it works.
Do you think you'll start using it probably?
Maybe.
Okay. Maybe. Okay.
Guys, Caroline and I are
fine.
going to see each other in like 3 weeks.
Oh, I can't wait. Actually wanted to talk to you about that. So Phoebe and I are going to Atlanta for a baby shower in a few weeks. And I'm so excited. I haven't seen the family in what feels like truly so long. And I can't wait to see everybody. But I was wondering, well, you're driving up, right? So you'll have a car?
Yeah, and I think I'm going to Charleston because there's a week between when I'm at the lake and the baby shower.
So you're literally not stepping foot in Nashville for like the whole month of February after you leave
I'm
for
gonna
the
drive.
lake.
I'm gonna drive back the 23rd.
Okay, cool. Well, love that you'll have a car because then it's like if we want to go traipse around the city, we can.
Yes, we can.
Which is great. Which is exciting.
And I do love Atlanta.
Me
I love
too.
that
I haven't
city.
been in a minute. Where are you staying? Do you know?
Wherever someone tells me to stay.
Me too. All right. So something else I wanted to share. Yesterday I was having lunch. Okay. I was at Anthos Delish. And I'm sitting there and like, you know how it's crazy with tables. Like this is one of those places where you wait in line, you order at the counter, and then you go find a table. And they've started putting signs on the tables that say, don't save them. Go like order your food and then you can come get a table, which is like, oh God, okay. So I'm there and we see this table open up and it's a 4-top, but it's the only one that opens up and we're like right there and we grab it and there are 2 of us and I'm like, this is fine. So we sit and we're eating and we whatever. And this woman comes up to us like 10 minutes later with her adult daughter. And she's like, can we share this table with you? Which is kind of a weird thing to do at a place where it's like these tables are not community tables, not meant to be shared. But obviously I said yes. So we have to like move everything over. And then the servers are getting so confused because they thought they brought us all our food, but now we have another like number on our table. So they keep coming over being like, can I take your number? And we're like, no, they're not with, it's the whole thing. And then I'm like, well, I'm not going to like change how I'm talking. I'm not going to like change the conversation that we're having. And so I tell my lunch date that I applied for Big Brother and that like, great, now I'm going to be on it. Suddenly the people who are sharing the table with us get quiet and they both pull out their phones. And I'm telling you, I know that they're texting each other and they're texting each other and they both like just start laughing. Like one of them like does something and then like is like, and like laughing out loud at whatever I'm assuming the other person said and then respond. And I'm like, aware of this because again we're at the same table. I'm like, you guys just asked if you could sit at the table I'm already at. Now you're gonna text and make fun of the conversation we're having because I applied to be on Big Brother and now I'm certain I'm gonna be on it. Like, what's embarrassing about this? What is there to laugh about? What's funny? I was like, you obviously don't know who you're sitting next to, or maybe they did. And that's why they were texting. They're like, do you know who
and that's
you
why
just
they asked to sit with?
But I was also like, could this mother who's sitting next to me really be that evil, nefarious, insidious as to text about the girl who just said, yes, you can sit at this table with me?
I know someone who might do that, and they're not nefarious or insidious.
Who?
Well, us and also our mom.
Thank you so much for saying that I'm not nefarious or insidious. I know. And that's a common misconception about me. So did everybody hear that? Thank you. Anyway, I just was like, it's, you know, when it's so obvious that like two people, I'm like, you guys didn't figure out how to hide that you're texting each other right now, this mother and daughter. And I was just like, but I still didn't stop talking about it.
Good for you.
Thank you. Good for me is right. Did you have anything going on in your personal life that you'd like to discuss? Anything fun going on this week for you?
I am going to the lake soon. I'm excited to do that. I'm going to be house sitting and dog sitting. It'll be a blast. I can't wait.
Phoebe and I are both going to be house sitting and dog sitting, but I am house sitting and dog sitting just a few streets over at our parents' house, Snoop and Sid.
Snoop and Sid.
Who are a lot more high maintenance than my dogs, I might just add.
Well, yes. Anyway,
yes.
I don't like when you talk badly about them. By the way,
I'm not talking badly about them.
Me.
I'm just stating a fact. Would you not agree that they are more high maintenance than my dogs?
But they tame out. Like I feel like they do become. They become like nothing.
Well, on one hand, you don't have a fenced-in yard, so that is a big issue for me because I can't exactly stop teaching students to go walk the dogs. So I don't know how I'm going to figure that one out. They also don't sleep in crates. They sleep in bed with human beings. So that's a big difference. And Snoop and Sid bark nonstop.
Okay.
So, and those things make them more high maintenance than my dogs, which is true. And that's okay. It's not a bad thing. I still love them, but they are more high maintenance. That you cannot get annoyed with me for saying that. All those things that are definitely true. And that mom would say she's 100% right.
I just don't like it. Anyway.
What do you not like about it? What do you disagree with?
I don't like talking badly. It's not that I don't disagree, but I'm
not talking badly about them. That's just how they are and that's fine. It's not me talking badly about them to say they don't have a fenced-in yard. That's me talking shit on our dogs and our family dogs.
I don't like it.
That's not that. They do talk a lot, Phoebe. They bark a lot, and you famously hate when anybody makes noise in your general vicinity, so I can't believe you're being this forgiving.
Anyway, I'm excited to go to the lake. I was going to have a Super Bowl party, but obviously I can't anymore, which is sad because I made a pretty good graphic for it. But now I'm going to have an Oscars party, I think.
Oh.
But now I've made myself excited for the Super Bowl still. There's a mellow mushroom at the lake. I'm going to drive there and order. I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to get a pizza. I'm going to get the pretzel. The pretzel knots, of course.
You're going to get a Greek salad?
Yes, a big one.
A big old Greek salad. And
with
then
tons of Esperanza dressing.
Yes, that Esperanza dressing. Then you can dip the crust in the dressing.
Oh, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
Oh, I'm jealous. Do not send me pictures. I'm
so excited.
Oh my God. Well, that sounds fun. We have 1 million bazillion things to discuss. So if it's cool with you, I'm just going to get into my agenda and we'll start discussing. We're going to start with some celebrity happenings and some little pop culture moments of the past week. Okay. And first and most importantly is that Stassi Schroeder, former VPR queen, threw her daughter Hartford a Wicked themed birthday party that actually is like my dream 30th birthday party. Is it not?
It was, and I love that before Stassi was like, it's just going to be a Frozen party with like some Wicked things. And then we see the pictures and it's like, that's the only thing that's Frozen vibes is that you have Elsa and Anna there.
Which I kind of love. So guys, like a few weeks ago, Stassi posted TikTok and is like, Hartford's birthday is coming up and we've been talking about this Frozen birthday party we're having for so long. And now Wicked's come out and Wicked has taken over our entire family, our entire lives, which of course Phoebe and I very deeply relate to. And she said now Hartford wants a Wicked party, but we like have planned the whole Frozen party. And the one thing that I'm just like loving about this is because there's no trace that this could have been a Frozen party in the pictures of this Wicked birthday party, except that, as Phoebe mentioned, the actors playing Elsa and Anna still came and dressed up and like did the whole thing with the kids. And in my mind, I'm like, Stassi kept them because she booked them. And she was like, I'm not going to fuck over those girls. I'm just going to keep them. And we're still going to have Anna and Elsa come.
I also love that it was cute because they were able to be like, well, Elphaba's a witch and Elsa's kind of like a witch. And like it was very, I don't know.
And kids are just so
picture
weird.
That she posted of Hartford like seeing the party for the first time and Stassi looking at her, like that is so our mom.
Yes.
Like that feeling is so like that just encapsulates everything mom has like ever done for us.
Yes, truly. Like just the, oh my God, I can't believe this gets to be what we're going to experience today. I think Stassi, I'm seeing dollar signs for a business model for Stassi where it's like Stassi's birthday party planning company and it's called It's My Fucking Birthday or something like that.
She's been branding that
literally
forever.
Like if she were to call it It's My Effing Birthday and it's a Stassi Schroeder birthday planning company, how could you not imagine? And she could start a whole company, like she could be like the Joanna Gaines but of like trendy like party planning and start a whole line of parties. Like Stassi, let's talk, okay? Let's talk. I've got it all planned out for you.
If Kyle Cook can make him yelling at his girlfriend part of his brand, Stassi can make that part of her brand.
Stassi, you can make. And even if the company only does Wicked parties, like I think that's fine. Like I think you could never get sick of it. It will never get old. I also think it's so cute and funny that Hartford is wearing her alphabet dress because let's be real, you guys, the alphabet dress costume for kids is sort of just like a black dress that's a little bit nondescript, whereas Glinda's in the pink bubble dress and it seems like that's like the dress that the little girls are wanting to wear. So it's kind of iconic to see Hartford just in like black combat boots and a black dress, and she like feels beautiful and feels amazing. And like I also think it's so
interesting that like and it's perfect because Stassi's such a Glinda that her daughter, you would think her daughter would be a Glinda, but it's so sweet that her daughter is an Elphaba.
Yes. And like, I just can't get enough of their videos of them like Bo's filming and they're like singing Wicked together before bed. Like they're just, and Hartford really seems like a super sweet kid. Did you see the video where she like hits Stassi in the mouth with her wand and Stassi's mouth starts bleeding? And Hartford is like, see that. Stassi like doesn't know her mouth is bleeding. Like she knows it hurt, but she doesn't realize there's blood and Hartford can see the blood. And she's like, oh no. Oh, Mommy, I'm so sorry. Mommy, I'm so sorry. I'm going to go get you a tissue. I'm going to go get you a tissue. And she like goes and she comes and she starts patting and Stassi like doesn't realize. And then Stassi turns to Bo to like kind of laugh when Hartford goes away. And Bo's like, oh my God. And she's got like a huge thing of blood coming down. And Hartford comes back in and is wiping the blood and goes, I'm so sorry. And is like, it's just so precious. And I think it's so neat to see like Stassi's evolution into someone who's like raising a daughter to be so compassionate and like sweet and still have all those really fun qualities that Stassi also has. Like it's just so neat.
And I think also so much of that is like the way Bo was able to soften Stassi in a lot of ways. Not that she needed to be softened, but you know what I mean. Like,
well, it's just like the way that he loved her, where she was like, she doesn't have to be on the warpath all the time anymore because she can feel safe in a relationship with somebody who is showing her this is what it feels like to be loved in a healthy way. And now you feel safe enough to not have to hide behind all the things that were making you so great for reality television, you know? So that's really all I wanted to say about that. Moving on, this is going to be something that I think means a lot to you. Obviously, our Scream 7 cast has been announced. Are you excited to get another Scream movie next year? Yes, dude. And it's a lot of the OGs coming back. So next year, the release date is February 27th, 2026. It's directed by Kevin Williamson, who wrote the original script, which gives me like a lot of, And we've got Courtney Cox, Matthew Lillard, Nev Campbell, Scott Foley. They're all coming back and reprising their roles for Scream 7.
Wow.
So Phoebe's going to have a new comfort movie to add to her rotation.
Excited. I do just want to say, I think, and I don't know if that's a different person than who was originally supposed to do Scream 7, but I think just for the record, I think it was wrong that those actresses don't get to come back for what they said. So I think that I hope that they moved in a different direction and that's why they're moving forward with the movie. But I will watch it. Because I do love the Scream movies. But I think they had such a like, I think they're going to regret in the future not letting those actresses continue, because I think that them taking over as like the Sydney Prescott really worked, and I liked the direction that the movies were going in terms of the whole lineage of all of the stories. But you know, I love a Scream movie and I will be excited to see it.
Yes. What do you think of Kanye posting on his Instagram story last night that he is only following Taylor Swift now?
I'm a little nervous about what that means for tonight. Is it like a warning?
Is
it like
a
warning shot,
dude?
So guys, we're recording this before the Grammys. So
which is
my
a
fear,
shame.
my preemptive fear is like, and something tells me he's not invited. Is he nominated for anything this year? For that?
What? I think Kanye West is fully disgraced. Like, he is not even like a part of the culture anymore. I don't think he's invited. I don't think he was even a thought in their heads.
But I really do think that album he released this year might have gotten a nomination.
I feel like I would have seen, and I mean, maybe it did, but I don't know how that would have slipped past me without me clocking it.
Well, I don't think it's not in any of the main categories. It would be in one of the smaller ones.
But I just feel like it would have made headlines in a major way.
Yeah, but Chris Brown was nominated.
I know. And I didn't miss that. Didn't miss that one bit.
Phoebe editing here. I am just going to interject as someone who did watch the Grammys. Now, unfortunately, our past selves hadn't watched them yet. Kanye did show up, and I'm sure we'll address it next week, but I do just want to say he was nominated. Just to clarify.
But anyway, that would be my fear, that he, like, if
I'm like,
if Beyonce, and it, but like, guys, we don't want Taylor to win this award.
Yeah,
we
can't win it. And we're saying this now on Tuesday. Like, look, we might be like, congrats, Taylor. Like, on Monday, when you're listening to this on Tuesday, yesterday we might have said congrats or been happy, but we're saying this now on Sunday prior to the Grammys. We don't want her to win because you Swifties know what it means for us. What we have to answer for if she wins for this album, which she shouldn't win for. Even though I don't know what is in the air, but I cannot stop listening to the album.
It's a winter vibe album for sure. And I also think the thing about Taylor's albums a lot, especially her more recent releases, like since Folklore and Evermore, they are growers.
They have to marinate a little bit.
Like,
yeah, I
then
agree.
you start to realize how good they are.
Yes.
And which is another thing that makes it so hard when she does release an album and it's like the number one album, so everybody feels like they have to listen to it, so everybody is like sharing their immediate opinions on her music. Well, and the other thing about, of people who aren't fans, so they're like, oh, I don't like that, and it's like, well, in 6 months you might.
Right. And TTPD especially being so long, it was like, okay, well, I'm not like, and especially now just in this culture we have of like everyone needs to have their finger on the pulse and like get their thoughts out right away. So like we're not taking that time to think about it because, you know, Rolling Stone has to get their shit. Like, what I know they have it ahead of time, but you know what I'm saying. And so I think that with an album so long as well, it's like, I mean, even we filmed an episode, I think the next morning, discussing all of our thoughts, and it's like,
how do we even have them?
Yeah. And I think what's cool about it even now is like for so long, any Taylor Swift song, it was like, I just feel like the lyrics were like programmed in my brain a lot. Like you just hear them so many times in the grocery store and the radio that you can't help but know the words. But what's kind of nice about this album is, again, there's so much. And one of the main complaints about the album is that it's like, we need an editor, you know, but it's like, it's fun to still be learning new lyrics and to hear certain lines and be like, I didn't realize that's what that line was. And it's kind of really fun and it's a fun melody and like, the artistry is all there, and it just took us a little bit more time to realize it, but she still does not deserve to win this Grammy. We love you so much. Please don't win this Grammy.
Please. And I know Midnights is one of your favorite Taylor Swift albums, but I think that this is a better album than Midnights. I think Midnights might be more cohesive, but I think this one is like, I think it was more challenging for her.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
The writing is it's just more it's, as Bo and Yang would say, it's more serrated. There's a lot more to grab onto. And I think going off what you said about having to get your thoughts out immediately, I saw that happen in the New York Times music podcast where for the first like month of them talking about the record, one of the guys like hated it. Hated it. And then like a month later, I think the title of the episode or like one of the first like things in the description was like, is Tortured Poets actually one of Taylor Swift's best albums? And it's like what sucks about that is when the like music criticism community is able to move forward and evolve in their opinions, the rest of the world has moved on, so they are always going to think it's a bad album.
Gonna be stuck in that. And that's also how I feel about, I mean, literally everything, even what's going on right now. And we're not going to talk about it, but if you want to hear more thoughts, our Patreon episode from this weekend is a deep dive on Justin's $400 million lawsuit. But it's kind of reminiscent of that as well, where it's like, you know, everyone right away hated Blake. Back in August, you know, it was like the Blake Lively hate train was in full force. It scales back a little bit in December when Blake releases her thing, but so many people are still stuck there that it just doesn't matter. Like things are just moving so fast. It's like they're still going to be there because that's what they thought first, and they're now not interested in taking the time to change their mind and
you realize so many people are
read.
way more stubborn than they probably want to think. That, like the people, once they have an opinion, they don't want it to change.
And also, like, it's okay if this isn't that important to you or if you don't really care about it. Like, I was having a conversation with someone about it who disagrees with what I think, and you know, I before we enter the conversation, what I wanted to know was like, what am I working with here? Because I'm not interested in like, you know, finding out that you were really just watching TikToks and then I'm coming in with like, well, what about this? And it's like, it's just not going to be it's not going to be a good conversation, honestly, because I'm speaking from a different place than you are about what's going on. So I was like, have you read the stuff? Because I just wanted to know if you have, then we can talk about what's in there. And I'd be interested to hear why you disagree with me if we read all the stuff. And the person's response was, yeah, I feel like I have. And so then we have this whole conversation about it. And at the end of the conversation, the person reveals that they actually haven't read any of it. They have only watched TikToks. And so at that point I was like, that's totally fine. But then why did you say you had? Like, why come into it? It's like, because you are so sure that you're right. You're so sure that what you believe is right. But then we find out it's not actually based on the facts, and that's fine. You don't have to care about this enough to go read it. Like, you do not need to spend your time. Everyone doesn't have to go read the 180-page lawsuit. But then I don't think we need to be so stubborn and like dig our heels in the ground when it comes to our opinions when we know we don't know everything, and that's fine. We're okay with not knowing everything, because it doesn't fucking involve us. Like, it's not even our business. The only reason I've read it all is because this is part of my job. Like, but other than that, I probably wouldn't have continued to read these, you know?
Right.
So I just think it's also this thing where everyone feels like they need to know everything and they should know everything. And if they're going to have an opinion, and it's like, we actually don't know these people. We don't need to read everything. And you don't have to be that passionate about something that you don't know that much about. You know, like, it's fine. You don't have to. You can be passionate about what you know about, but then just like preface it with like, well, this is what I'm going off of.
Right.
And it's actually not that important to me. So I didn't go read the lawsuit. And I would have been like, that's totally fine. I totally get that, you know?
Right. Totally.
So it's a similar kind of thing with like anything.
Yeah.
Just people and they don't ever want to be wrong. Even if it's like, you can still be right. If you change your opinion about an album or anything and you believe your opinion is right, that means you're still right. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, if you had an opinion, you thought it was right, you can change your opinion and you can still believe that you're right.
Not to make it all about Taylor Swift, but you see that happen a lot with people who do like, they're like, okay, I will give it a chance and I'm going to listen. Yes. They end up realizing that they like a lot more of her songs than they think they do.
You know who's a great example?
Is Megan.
Megan Albadress, Demi DeVito on TikTok. She was like so not into Taylor, and we've had so many conversations where she's like, okay, suddenly I can't stop listening to Midnight. It's like not me loving these Taylor songs. What did she say? She watched the entire Tortured Poets Department set of the Eras tour and sent it to us. And I was like, did you like it? She's like, Caroline, I watched the entire thing. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, right.
That means she loves it. Yeah. So I don't know. It's just interesting. I'll be very intrigued to see what happens tonight. While we're talking about the Grammys, why don't we continue? So the Grammys are tonight, Sunday. And while we're recording, they're raising funds to support the LA wildfire relief efforts and honoring bravery of first responders. Thank goodness. Hosted by Trevor Noah. Performances you're excited for? Any in particular?
Sabrina, Chapel, Charlie. Said I hope Charlie does Spring Breakers.
I would fucking. She needs to pull up. She needs to pull up in a car on the stage. And literally, like, that's what she needs to do.
What if she opens the show with Spring Breakers?
Hi, it's me, you're all in danger.
Like, part of me is like, are the Grammys going to say you can't do that song? Because it's about us?
No way. No way, right? I guess
Speaking of how people feel about the Grammys, our girl Ari hates the Grammys so much. She's not going.
I can't blame her.
She's not going. And someone said, oh, you know how bad it has to be for her to leave Cynthia alone at an event?
I was like, not Cynthia going and Ariana's not.
I'm a little bit like, I get it. And I think that people, and obviously we don't know, but I don't think it's just because of her nomination history. I think she holds a lot of resentment towards them for what they did to Mac Miller's parents.
Yes. And I also think on top of that,
like, why did they do that?
It's crazy. I also think on top of that, she's been vocal about the point that she's not trying to continue as much in this like pop vocalista space. So I wonder, you know, she probably thinks in her mind like, well, if there was a year for me to not go and kind of like take myself out of the Grammy spotlight because I want this to be like my Oscar year, maybe like she sees it as like this would be the year for me not to go. Whereas Cynthia needs to be seen as much as she can because she hasn't been like a Grammy nominee like Ariana.
Yeah. How do you think about... Yeah, I agree. People are saying they think Demi Moore's Oscars on lock.
Dude, do you really? Do you think?
Well, for some reason, people were saying that the actress from Amelia Perez was going to win, which, again... What do they have on the industry? Like,
there has to be something, right? Like,
I'm missing. Because
I haven't seen it still, but
this year,
everything I've heard is like that the movie is unbelievably bad.
And the fact it has the most, it's tied for like the most nominations.
Guys, are we missing something? I mean, again, I know I'm missing something because again, I haven't watched it, but maybe I'll watch it. I'm going to
definitely watch it before the Oscars.
Wait, I thought you've seen it.
I've seen enough of it.
Oh, you haven't seen it either. So we just admit live on air we are completely uninformed about Amelia Perez.
But I feel I am informed on the way the Oscar race has been going and the issues with this actress and some of the things that she said in the past. But I think people are like, are they going to take her nomination away? And I don't think they are. Like, that doesn't seem like, but the Oscars did unfollow her on Instagram. But I just don't think that that's really how the Academy would operate.
Well,
and also then do you slot in someone who didn't make the initial list?
Should you talk a little bit about what comments in case people aren't aware?
Well, I don't want to repeat any of them, but basically they found a bunch of tweets from her old Twitter or from her Twitter that I think a lot of them had been deleted or were deleted after this happened. Basically, people dug them up because she was in an interview talking about how I think she's a French actress from another movie. I think I'm Still Here, the actress that's nominated in leading actress for that movie. I can't remember her name. The woman from Amelia Perez had said that like her Oscar campaign was like there was a smear campaign going on or something like that. Like said something. Let me make sure I'm getting that right. Okay, there's nothing worse than opening an article on your phone and 8 trillion ads opening.
Dude,
and you like don't know where the X is.
It takes it so long to like makes the page take forever to load. It drives me insane.
Okay. According to the BBC, there was an interview where Gascon from Amelia Perez complained that the social media team working with Fernanda Torres, who is the Best Actress nominee for I'm Still Here, was tearing me, Gascon, and Amelia Perez down. And then she backtracked, claiming that she was referencing the toxicity and violent hate speech on social media in general, which is a little bit ironic when we read some of the tweets that she has put online on social media.
Right.
And she deleted her Twitter account, all this stuff. She said that like, actually, one of the comments was about Selena Gomez.
Yes.
And all that, which is her co-star. So I think it's definitely, I mean, it's been an incredibly messy Oscars
for sure
campaigns. And I feel like this is the first year, at least in a long time, where you can like see the campaigns happening in a way that is very different than anything. Normally it's just like they're doing interviews. I think they're like a lot doing of that stuff.
I think the reason for that is COVID. We lost a lot of that. And then we went into 2 years of 2 strikes. And now we're here. And I think we started to see the press tour and all of that come back with Barbie and Oppenheimer. And now it's like we are in full force. We are, I really feel like we are in like a renaissance of early 2000s.
I agree.
Celebrity culture, which I'm loving.
I agree. But still, this feels so like no, like press tour wise, that's what I mean. Like normally it feels like the Barbie and Oppenheimer thing of like doing interviews and all that stuff. This feels like we're seeing the rocks being thrown at each other. Like we're seeing the stuff about Adrian Brody being leaked, the AI stuff.
True, right.
We're seeing like Timothée Chalamet feels like he's very much like in the press right now, and then we're seeing this happen. Them talk, and like you're not supposed to talk about.
Right.
I think that's the Academy's. That's the Academy's into maybe taking her nomination away, because I believe she violated the Academy's rules by talking about another nominee. Which then I have a question for Bowen, because Bowen and Matt did talk about Amelia Perez, and does he count because he's a part of Wicked?
Well,
or if since he's not nominated for the movie individually.
Right. And you would also
like
think though, since he like what presented the nominations, that he would be under
which
even more.
it was refreshing though because I was like I was like, are they just not going to talk about like any of the, they're getting to a point like with what
I thought about that so many times.
Tina Fey was
said
like,
you're
not
going to
be able to talk like this.
Yes.
And it's like, that kind of sucks, because that's so like, guys, I promise we'll try our best when we're Oscar nominated actresses.
Yeah, to keep talking
keep
shit.
it real.
To keep just absolutely talking shit and not knowing anything is the other thing. We're also going to continue to not know the truth.
That's imperative.
We're going to continue to not be right about things, and you guys are going to continue to love us anyway. I do
Question
think about
about
that
the
all the
Grammys.
time, how like when I started listening to Lost Culture, they could literally say fucking anything they wanted, and how much that has changed. And like, it's like the good old days. I miss them, but I am like, there's such a little sweet spot where like I feel like Seek Treatment currently is, where like they're kind of in the spot that I feel like we would like to be.
Exactly. With 30 listeners.
Right, exactly.
Do you what are the odds Olivia and Taylor present together?
0. I think a firm 0. I just think a firm 0.
But did you see the picture of Olivia and Gracie together at the Fire Aid concert?
Yeah, I
Not
did,
that means
I did.
anything, but
It means nothing. It means nothing. I don't think. I mean, Sabrina did a Skims campaign, so Olivia posing with Gracie Abrams. You know, I don't think it. I would be shocked. I mean, I'd love it. I'd be shocked. I can't wait to see the fits tonight, guys. I can't wait for the red carpet.
And I actually have a bone to pick with Paige DeSorbo. And
well, we're gonna get into Bravo, so can we actually pause and talk about that later?
No, but this has to do with the Grammys.
Okay.
They posted on their story that they started the trend of watches on their choker. And I just want to say,
well, Taylor Swift
did.
Let's
Paige,
not forget.
I know how you feel. I know how you feel about our girl.
Let's
Paige,
not forget.
Pick me ass
no,
Paige DeSorbo.
Paige likes Taylor Swift.
Doesn't she not like her?
No, they both like her. But I think
but
they
was
did
it hard
for a
to get
second,
there?
But maybe. I don't remember now. But I feel like they like her. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think so. But let's not forget the video we all saw of Tree Payne making sure that Taylor's watch necklace was set to midnight. And us all being like, this means something.
And it didn't. I mean, we did get an announcement that night, but the time didn't mean anything.
No, wasn't it set to like 2 a.m. or something? And it was like an Easter egg about the second part of the album coming out.
I don't remember. And here's what I'll tell most Swifties. I don't care. I'll take what she gives me.
Here's what I'll say. I
I
don't think that the Easter eggs we're all finding are all put there intentionally, hidden by the Easter Bunny. Just gonna say that real quick.
That's how I feel about Severance. Of like, I know you're not watching it right now, but I was late to the game on Severance season 1. So I wasn't on Twitter seeing the Severance community.
Yes.
And now on season 2,
they're quite analytical, don't you think?
They are. And I'm like, guys, we are watching. I mean, not that we're. Here's what I realized is like we're watching the same show and I'm like getting the meanings, but I'm not sitting taking notes theorizing about what.
But there are like 2 shows happening, and one of them is like a level underneath what show you're seeing.
Yeah,
and that's the show that they're watching. Yeah, no,
and it's that. Like I just had a realization. I was like, people were theorizing all this stuff about how they think season 2 is gonna go and the direction and everything. And I was like, I just don't care to do that. Like, I will get there when they take me there. I had that realization. I was like,
interesting.
I'm not doing the work. They're doing.
I also
the work.
feel like you have to have watched that show multiple times to be having opinions like that, and that's a person I am not.
But
yet.
season 2 is so good, and I saw a tweet that said season 2 of Severance. They've like watched all. They got it early, so they've seen all of it, and they were like, it is darker and more intense than season 1. Like this is going to be one of the most substantial shows of our like of the decade, basically.
Iconic.
This season has been so good.
I'm excited to watch it. And now I'm like, do I just wait till it's all out? Or do I just wait until right before the finale?
I mean, they're only
so that
3
we can
episodes out right now.
I know.
So
but
that's
how
gonna
many
be
are
a
there
long
going to be?
time.
10?
Probably.
Like I could probably wait.
That's like 2
at
months
least.
of shows.
But there's a lot going on. There are lots of shows right now. And we're about to get Summer House too, which I cannot wait to be talking about Summer House with you guys. Oh my God.
I know.
All right.
Thursday?
Gaga. No, I think it's next. Oh, maybe. Gaga is releasing a new album. She's also going to be releasing a music video at the Grammys tonight for the album. And I'm like, then why are you singing Die With a Smile? I understand it's because it's nominated, but I would prefer you just show the... I know.
It's classic Gaga to have just like, the weirdest little ballad that doesn't really fit the album.
Right.
That is on it.
The last song. But the album's coming out March 7th. I wanted to go through the set list because it's giving... old Gaga, and frankly, so is her new aesthetic, which I cannot quite wrap my head around.
I think I saw someone who got early access to it, or someone from her team said it's like gonna be an amalgamation of like 80s, 90s, like synth, some like Euro techno music. It's gonna be like OG Gaga vibes. I feel like in a little bit like art
German,
pop.
but I can if you like. Ow! Like, we're going to start with things like that, maybe.
Yeah.
So here's the track. Okay, the album is called Mayhem. And that is exactly what the track list makes me feel. So that makes total sense to me. Okay, have you seen the track list?
No.
All right, first song, Disease.
I love that song.
Second track, Abracadabra. Third track, Garden of Eden. Fourth track, Perfect Celebrity, which is also the name of my debut album that will be coming out in 2030. It's called Perfect Celebrity because that's what I am. Okay.
It's the second pop song to come out in a year about Julia Fox.
What?
She's a perfect celebrity, Julia Fox.
Well, she is. That is true.
It's the second pop song to come out in a year about Julia Fox.
Sorry, I didn't know if you were talking about my debut album that's coming out in 2030 that I was just mentioning, and I was like, how do you already know what pop songs are coming out in 2030, Phoebe?
No.
Share your sources. All right, next up, track 5, Vanish Into You. Okay. It's making me think of, I'm willing to run, crash into you. You know, it's making me think of that. Killa, spelled Killah. Featuring Gesaffelstein.
Oh.
I don't know who that is. Cancel me. I don't know who Gesaffelstein is.
It sounds like we are getting some Euro techno vibe.
On the song Killa.
I hope that song
Maybe
is
actually that's what it is for sure. Killa.
I hope that song is giving like it's the jewels and drugs of Mayhem.
Oh my God, dude. I can't. Okay, well, the next one word, Zombie Boy. Already my favorite song on the album, Zombie Boy. One word, no hyphen. Next song, and this is where I'm like, Gaga, did you forget about one of the songs that you've written before? This song, also one word, Love Drug.
Are you talking about Love Game?
It just kind of sounds like Love Game.
Yeah, I loved that song as a kid, and it would make mom cringe so hard.
Love game. Do you want love or you want fame or you win the game? It's called the Love Game. Oh, so good. Let's play a love game. Play a love game. Do you want love or you want fame or you win the game? I mean, I just love her. Okay, next up. How bad do you want me? No question mark and the letter U instead of the word. How bad do you want me? And that's how it's said because there's no. How bad do you want me? There's no question mark. We're not going up. Next one. Don't call tonight. That is Hannah saying to Caleb in this next episode. Don't call me tonight, dude. For real. Next up. Shadow of a Man. Oh my God, diss track. Okay, a crazy diss track on an ex is what I'm getting from this. Shadow. You are just a shadow of a man, she said. Next up, The Beast. What is The Beast going to be about? It's about Taylor Swift.
Oh my God, The Beast is the answer track to Garden of Eden.
All right, next up, Will
This is actually
for Life.
wait, this whole album
wait,
is
I lied.
just Paradise Lost as an album.
Wait, wait, this is the Bible. Okay, wait.
Okay, wait.
Not
Caroline's
Lady
been reading the wrong
Gaga
thing.
making oh my god, I'm just reading from the Bible right now. I got it totally wrong. This is for my other podcast. Sorry guys. I'm gonna start over with Gaga's track list. Zombie boy is just a word in the Bible. Just kidding. Please don't come for me, you guys. Okay, after the beast, we have Blade of Grass. Also known as the song Chuck wrote this morning as he almost made himself throw up on a blade of grass. Got stuck in his throat. He's like,
That was the one thing that was funny about that incredibly unfunny SNL skit of the dogs.
yes, that was the only funny part.
But it went on too long.
I agree. And also I did not like the humping.
No, me either.
If you guys watched Timothy Chalamet, they did a dog park sketch where everyone was a different kind of dog at the dog park.
The one thing that was funny was the I eat grass.
Was it Keenan?
Yeah, and that's when it went on too long because he kept throwing and like it kept going on too long.
He did it like 4 times. Yeah. He was like, oh, I just ate this blade of grass, made me feel sick. And he throws up in his hand and then he's like, delicious. And then eats it and throws up as a whole thing. So Blade of Grass. Then we have Will for Life. And finally, we have Die with a Smile, Bruno Mars. And apparently there's also, quote, a mysterious bonus track. So I don't know if that's what we're going to get at the Grammys, the music video. I don't know. What I can say is I absolutely can't wait to do a classic Connell sister midnight listening while texting party while we listen to Mayhem. It's going to be great. Moving on. Let's get into it. Rachel Kirkconnell on Call Her Daddy.
Yes.
Matt James, I will see you in hell.
It was a bleak watch. It made me really sad.
I don't think Rachel realized that it's a bleak watch.
I agree.
You know, like I think she knows obviously it's sad and she's sad and it's going to be, hard for that reason. But I don't think, and what I really saw, and one of the reasons I think that we both, along with a lot of opinions on the internet, feel this is one of Alex Cooper's best interviews, is it was so obvious that Alex
could see it.
It was interesting to see Alex in this, I don't want to say maternal, but it was like, she was like the big sister who
totally, that's exactly
like,
what I thought.
You know what I mean? And it's like Alex Cooper, I mean, how many lives has she lived? How many terrible stories where she's like been in Rachel's position, and now she's in this place where not only has she had all her experiences, but she has her little sisters, we can call Alex Earl, Hallie Batchelder, who are on, talking about these kind of things. And then all the people that she's had on her show, like Alex has such a wealth of experience and knowledge about relationships. She's seen it so many ways, And
I just think it was, Caroline and I were both talking about it, like the way she was asking questions. She seemed like there was like a genuineness to this interview that was, not that she doesn't always seem genuine, but like it seemed like
it was like a softness and like a tenderness.
Yeah.
And it was like,
it was really, I thought it was really, and the follow-up questions, the way that she was asking.
It felt like a real conversation. It didn't feel like it was like being recorded for consumption.
Exactly.
Kind of a thing. Especially like, so there's the moment where Rachel talks about how like when she gets upset, Matt usually would just give her space and wait until she was calmed down and then they'd be fine. And Alex has this moment, and it was crazy because it was obviously a question that like Rachel had never been asked or thought about. And Alex is like, but Rachel, like, is that what you wanted?
Did you want space?
Did you want to be left alone? And she was like, no. And Alex is like, what did you want? And she was like, for him to comfort me. And Alex is like, and you like deserved that. I just want to let you know. But you also see this moment where Alex is navigating this kind of tricky thing where like this is still way too fresh, way too new for Rachel to actually acknowledge what's happening here. Because what it seemed like to me is that Rachel has been in an emotionally abusive relationship for 4 years and has no idea. And
yeah, exactly.
I almost wonder because so I'll quickly go over like how the breakup happened because she does give us a story, but it doesn't make much sense. It doesn't answer the questions that we were all asking, They go to Tokyo, which by the way is her favorite place in the world. Like to do this to her in her favorite, it defies understanding for me. So they're into Tokyo. And she says on this trip, they're talking about babies. They're talking about rings and marriage and all these things. So it's like, I just don't know how he was so sure about this decision in this moment.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like this should have been like maybe the start of a conversation and not the end of it as well. So anyway, he's asking her to look for a spot to go eat. And obviously we know they're like foodie influencers. That's what they do. So she was like stressed out looking for a really good spot. And she just kind of wasn't having luck. And she was watching. Oh no, this is a clip I saw recently that surfaced, but it's the same like conversation. She was watching TikToks of reviews of spots, trying to find a good one for them to go to. He was on the phone and got really annoyed with her for watching the TikToks and told her to turn them off. So she was like, okay. So she stopped looking for a spot, and then they get wherever they're going, and he's like, okay, where are we going to eat? And she's like, I didn't pick a spot. You told me to stop. And he like flipped out at her and got really mad at her. And she told this story on a podcast. And I was like, not this being the same story she tells on Call Her Daddy about why they break up. So she finds a spot, it's not good, and she feels bad because it's like their job. And also she doesn't say it's her job. She's like, it's his job. You know, he needs to have good content, whatever. And so they get there, it's not good. She says they have a completely silent dinner. She's like, maybe 2 tears roll down my face, and he gets like so annoyed with me and mad at me for being upset and being uncomfortable, which for me, I'm like, but why did you get so upset? Like, you were fucking scared of this because you knew, because this is not the first time this happened. Like,
right.
You know, like,
and even if it wasn't your fault, and even if he didn't make you feel like it was your fault in the moment, it would have been your fault when he was trying to post content. It would have come back to that.
Well, we didn't get, yeah. And so she, and also you just see how much she just loves him and just like wants to make him happy. It was like, she was giving like, I live to serve vibes with Matt. Like she was just like, whatever you tell me, whatever you need, I will be that.
Mimi and I were talking about it last night. And, well, one thing is that like, why did he stay for so long? Like he had, first of all, you had an out. I know maybe you weren't like there in 2020 when you guys were together in a place where you wanted to say goodbye completely to the relationship, but like you had the whole world behind you, essentially saying you guys, you don't need to be with her, right? And then you built this new relationship, and this is where we were kind of drawing some similarities between Paige and Craig, not in the extent, like I don't think they are maybe both coming away in the relationship, I don't think one of them is as broken as Rachel is, but I just mean that like Mimi made a good point. She was like, I feel like Paige was dropping these hints and waiting for Craig to pick them up, but she should have realized he wasn't sooner than she did. And like Matt maybe was saying things like but it was the dichotomy of like Paige would go to Charleston and go to dinner parties at Madison's house and make Craig believe that this life could work, which is what it seems like Matt was doing, of like talking about proposals and talking about kids, but maybe deep down he knew the same way I believe Paige knew deep down that this wasn't forever, and it's just like then just leave 2 years earlier than you do.
As the scholar and philosopher Taylor Swift said, I'm pissed off and I'm pissed that you let me give you all that youth for free. Sometimes I have to like actually sing it because I'm like, what words did she put? It's so good.
Oh my God, that's Rachel's song.
Oh my God, I'm just mad as hell because I loved this place for so long. Like in her favorites. I know. I also love the like, I don't even know what I would call it, like rhythm in the beginning, like but where were the clues? Like she just like speeds up the last one ever so slightly. I love it. What is that called? Do you know?
I would call that the rhythm.
I love how but you know what I'm talking about? Like it's just like the last word. Like it feels like
I don't know if there's a name for that, but
it's not a triplet at the end though.
That's what I mean. I don't know if there's
like the last one just.
Well, I think it's just the note goes down.
No, but it's like it's also shorter. It's like clipped. Someone love me, but where were the clues? No, would never come through. It's like
I think it's part of the rhythm and part of how she sings it.
Yeah, I don't know. I love it. But anyway, there's also this whole thing where like Rachel, so I think it's a little bit more diabolical for Matt because I think
sure.
Matt was in such a position of power and he knew that and she knew that. And they started their relationship on uneven footing, which makes it even harder. Like you start in a world where he's the lead and you're not, you know,
then it got worse. Not
right, you
that
come
that wasn't
out of
Rachel's
it.
fault, but like when they decided to go back into the relationship together after everything happened, Matt had, and I can see with the way that she's talking about it, like Matt was probably able to use that to his advantage in certain ways, if that makes sense. And I don't again, like Rachel needed to answer for what happened. She's not like, nothing makes what happened okay. But if we're just talking about their relationship, if he was going to enter into the relationship knowing that, he needed to either leave it at the door or they needed to have better, more productive conversations about how it was going to affect their relationship.
I totally agree. And I think also, like, I don't know. I think that she also, like, we got a little bit of insight into her in this episode where we find out, like, she didn't apply for The Bachelor. Her friends submit her. And she, like, wasn't even sure that she could do it. And, like, she just, to be honest, I don't think she's somebody that would have really sought out the spotlight if this hadn't fallen into her lap. So I think, you know, she was able to tell herself that she was okay with being the supporting character in his life and, you know, him being the main one because she probably didn't really want that, you know, at the end of the day. Like, and she had the perks of it with him, but also she didn't have to maybe be the same level of like a personality that he is. But it's also, I think the other thing is she is so young, you know, like she's 25, 26.
Is she?
26. I think she's 26 or 27. Because it was right out of college that she went on The Bachelorette or The Bachelor. So like she's so young and it's like it's really a shame because
she's
feel
28 and he is 33. So yeah, that's like a 5-year difference.
Yeah, and like for women especially, like I feel like your 20s is such a pivotal time where you get to like really come into your own and figure out who you are in this world and like you know, become a more secure, confident version of who you are or start working towards who you want to be, you know, and you have control of your life in a different way. And it's like, he took that from her. Like he's now leaving her about to exit her 20s in a couple years, less secure than she was when she went into them, which should never be how it is when you're in college. Like, you know, like this, and she just, it was so clear that from the get-go, she was insecure in the relationship. And it makes total sense with everything. And then now it's like she's like a shell of a human being.
She has no idea, it seems like, in this interview. And the way, like, the constant, like,
protecting
amending
him.
certain things or justifying behaviors or being like, well, technically, like, it's like, no, it doesn't have to be technically.
Yes. And one of the really interesting things she said was when she was talking about how when they would fight, like, Alex was like, well, what were some of your fights about? What were they like? And she was like, well, it usually came down to like, he really thought that like I wasn't able to take accountability for the things I did that bothered him or whatever. And as she continues to speak about it, she's like, has this realization where she's like, but you know, it's kind of weird because like I was usually the one who was like upset or annoyed or like was maybe like kind of bringing the emotions to the table. And by the end of it, I was the one apologizing. And then I was also being told that I wasn't accountable. And it was like, and she just kind of has this moment and Alex is like, Rachel, like, oh my God. And I think it's really surprising to a lot of us. And we didn't,
and it makes me nervous for birds of a feather flock together. Tyler Cameron, what have you done?
Oh, well, I'm just like
that boys club. I'm
you
sure
just
that
can't. You just imagine Matt calling Tyler in Tokyo, being like, "Rachel's driving me fucking crazy, dude. Like, she was crying at dinner last night."
And it's like, why didn't Matt like her in the beginning? Like, what was that?
Tyler.
Tyler. Why didn't he? He was like so weird about her. Like,
I know.
Why? And like, I don't know. It's just like.
Matt just like was never ready to settle down. And you know what? Claire Crawley. So let's not forget where Matt James really got his start. He was cast as a contestant on Claire Crawley's season of The Bachelorette. And then it hit COVID. And before the season even aired, Matt James was on Cameo. And Claire Crawley finds this out and is like, he's not here for the right reasons. And I don't want him here. So then he doesn't go on. He gets named the next bachelor. We never hear a whole lot about that. And let's be real, Claire is a little bit cuckoo for sure. But she just put on her story, I will never forget when I was the bachelorette all those years ago and the producers brought in one man who I knew for a fact was not ready for marriage. And I said, get him off the season. So instead they made him the next bachelor. And, you know, who knows? But it's just interesting to remember like that is where this started. And I just think he was never ready for that in the first place. And it's so wrong to allow someone like Rachel, who the other thing is, you know, every woman isn't pining for marriage and kids and all that. That's true. But she was. And she made that very clear. And I just think it's so wrong for a man to pretend that, you know, because the reality is it's not entirely in our control as women whether or not we can have a family. So if you're telling us that's what I want with you, it's happening sooner rather than later, we are on this path, and that is what I want to believe, even though maybe your actions don't show me that the same way. You know, we get to this point now where it's like, well, now she's 28 and she's going to be fucking terrified to get in another relationship. And a lot of women start having trouble having kids when they hit their 30s. Like, it's just not fair. And it's like, when she starts getting upset about how the hardest part of this is the fact that she can see these kids in her head and she's imagined these kids with her and Matt, and now those kids don't exist anymore. That was like a heartbreaking way of saying that. She was like, I sound so stupid, but like, I can't imagine like the kids that like I already love because they don't exist now. Like,
oh my God.
It's just terrible. And all these videos of their relationship are surfacing where it's like, God, the writing was on the wall and we just were like, look how cute and quirky. But I have thought so many times watching videos of Matt and Rachel, like, she is a better woman than me. I would fucking be arrested. Like the video of him pushing her into the pool when she's in full glam. You guys are content creators. She probably was planning on taking fucking pictures. She's a shiny ass blowout. I think she has her phone in her hand. She's got a cute outfit on, and you push her into the pool when she also, I think, has her phone in her hand. Did I already say that? Like,
yeah.
And it's just
Unreal.
a funny video, and then you post it, and it's like, I'm sorry, it doesn't matter if it's a joke unless we talked about this beforehand and I knew you were about to push me in the pool. That's like borderline unforgivable. And his mom just like puts her head in her hands and it's like, I'm like, the mom needs to like go push him in the pool and fucking whip his ass. Like,
Matt's mom?
I'm sorry. Yes, he's there. She's there in the video. He's like, hey, mom. And then he's like, God, the pool looks amazing, Rach, doesn't it? She's like, yeah, I'm definitely going swimming later. And then he goes, or now, and pushes her in the pool and goes, so mom, what are we going to do for lunch? She keeps walking. And then he turns around and Rachel's in the pool soaking fucking wet. And she goes, I'm going home. And that's the end of the video. And he's like, what? And like, I would have gotten arrested if that was me. Let me just tell you that. So anyway, I do think though, one of the reasons Rachel keeps saying like, because Alex is like, do you think you'll get back together? Do you want to? And Rachel's like, I don't think I can. I think once somebody says to you, I don't see myself with you, I don't see myself marrying you and having kids with you, I think you just need to like believe them. And I wonder if in a way her going on Call Her Daddy is going to make her stay accountable. Like she can't get back together with him now. You know what I mean?
Maybe,
whereas before I wonder like fast. Now. Yeah. And I wonder if that was part of it.
The set looks so good.
Oh, the set looks amazing.
I love how just comfy Alex looks. Those chairs, like either, I mean, I know that she's a waif of a girl, but those chairs look like the perfect, like it.
I know. You need an oversized armchair that you can sit cross-legged in and like have all your stuff and be comfy. Like we know, maybe we should create a business where we create a podcasting chair.
Right.
Okay. What can't we do? Let's move into Trader.
Hormone Harmony. Road warriors, let's get real. Managing PMS can be difficult. When I get on to record the podcast with Caroline, it can be tough sometimes to lock into a cheerful mood. But good news, with the help of Hormone Harmony, I am able to manage my PMS and so much more. It helps me balance my moods and even improves my sleep quality. Hormone Harmony is dedicated to making women's lives better. One of the ways they achieve this is through science-backed herbal extracts called adaptogens. These help your body adapt to stressors. Hormone Harmony is third-party tested, non-GMO, and gluten and dairy-free. It's no wonder to me a new bottle of Hormone Harmony is sold every 24 seconds. If you can even believe it, for a limited time, you can get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use the code PrettyLittlePodcast at checkout. That's happymammoth.com and use the code PrettyLittlePodcast for 15% off today.
Yeah.
Yes. Wow.
Holy moly. I mean,
Man, I was like, if this works at the round table, he is the greatest of all time. Wes, sorry, you think it's you. You think it's you, Wes.
I was shocked. I was gooped, gagged. I was agog. I was aghast. I couldn't believe my eyes or my ears when he wiggled his way out of that. That was insane.
I'm a little bit like, how much longer do we have though of this work?
I agree with you. And so there are a few things I want to talk about with traders. So we'll start at the top of the episode and work our way down. But one thing is that I've decided like I want Boston Rob to win.
Me too.
I just do. And it's so funny. I'm talking to Kelly last night and she does not, she wants the faithfuls to win. She wants them to get the traders out.
That's very
and I was
Kelly.
Like, she was like, we think about it so differently. That's so funny. Cause I'm like, I will be sad when Boston Rob gets out because it is just so enthralling to watch him play this game.
And he keeps it so cool, which is something that a lot of like, that was Wes's downfall. Was like when you decided to get
too
aggressive.
Emotional. And the other thing is like, there is such a thing as we just don't want to play with you. And so we don't give a fuck if we get you out at this point because we just honestly don't want to play with you.
I know. And now especially they must be like, I don't care that we didn't get a trader because
I think they don't care. Did you see what Kroll posted?
No,
Kroll posted something that it was like an outfit video and she goes, just saying like, if you are aggressive and you're not nice, like you're going to have like what she like posted something about how like she basically, they don't regret getting Wes out.
Yeah.
Because he was a
dick.
They
shouldn't.
And
he was
I'm
so
like,
rude.
Good. When he says, fuck you guys, I was like, okay, you're such a sore loser.
You're talking about this like it's just like it's a game and like you're not, but it's like clearly it is more than a game to you because you're acting like it's
right. And also, Wes, you knew going into the round table that like this might not work, and you knew that if it didn't work, who it was going to be turned on. Like you knew Rob was going to like put it on you. Like so you knew you were going in and risking it. And the other part of it is there's no reason that Wes should have like had more of a fit on his exit than Bob the drag queen. You know what I mean? Like if Bob the drag queen could fucking keep it together, then Wes, you can too.
I thought he was pretty non-consequential. You know what I mean? Like I felt like he wasn't.
He's supposed to be one of the best, and I'm like, well, then you didn't show me that.
I saw a video of him from the challenge, and people were like, if you think he's a sore loser, look at him winning. And he's like yelling at all these people that he beat in the game, like talking about how good he is at the game and all this stuff.
Like I hate that. Just like keep it to yourself till you get home. Like anyway. So we start in the turret with our traders with Carolyn, Danielle, and Rob. And we start and end there. And when we begin there, I think Carolyn makes a mistake by immediately telling Danielle, I know you've been talking about me. I know you've thrown my name out. Like, I just think that was a mistake for Carolyn. She should not have brought it up. She should have just started to do some work the next day to get Danielle out.
But I saw a tweet that was like, Boston Rob's face, he can't believe Carolyn. I think in that moment he can't believe Danielle because Danielle's like, this is the second turret.
Yeah, but I also think my theory on that is they replayed the same Boston Rob clip, I think, for two things. So there's the same, like him dropping his jaw and looking.
Which is very not Boston Rob.
No, and I think it's the exact same clip. And I think they play it twice. So it could look like both. But what do you think about the Bob H killing? Would you have chosen somebody different?
I don't know. I didn't really think about it.
Yeah,
I didn't. I liked him. I think I would have liked him. I forget who the other people on the table were. I think it seemed fine.
Feel like they just like Ivar. I mean, I think they need to start killing people that no one's ever going to get out of the round table. You know, they need to start just killing the people that no one suspects because that otherwise, like, it's just less people to blame, you know? So Danielle suggests a clean slate for her and Carolyn. And like, I get that the damage is just done. Like Carolyn's not going to trust you, but it drove me nuts the next day when like, there is a clean slate now. Everything that you're hearing about Carolyn has already happened the day before. So all these things that people are coming to you with, like you didn't get to talk to them last night after the turret, you know?
Right.
Danielle didn't go scurry and tell all these people these things. This all happened yesterday. So you're now mad about all this shit as if it's happening in real time. Danielle's no longer doing all this. Like, she's,
right.
You know, so that's where I just feel like, and at that point, Carolyn sort of loses me in this episode because I just feel like, you're letting your emotions get the best of you and you are not playing a smart game. What are you doing burning votes at the round table? Because here's the thing. If Rob had gotten eliminated there, it was close enough that it would have been because like Carolyn, didn't vote for Wes or whatever. Like they needed to be voting with the group in that moment to save the traitors. And I think that was just like a bad gameplay move and it also just draws way more attention to Carolyn. Like it does make it seem like, why are you so worked up that Danielle was throwing your name out? If you know you're not a traitor, like don't act so
and
crazy.
if it doesn't seem like people aren't really taking the bait in the way that
right.
Carolyn's
like, and the fact
like
that Carolyn is the only person who votes for Danielle at the table, like that's where I'm just like, and she's like acts like it's this big gotcha moment, and I just don't think it is. Like I just didn't love that. Tom Sandoval is starting to
so
entertain
funny.
me. Why not his dunce edit?
It's so funny, and the way that
When
he pulls Brittany. I also want more Brittany. Brittany seems great.
Well, do you want to know what I think could happen with Brittany? This is what my wheels have started turning. Okay, so, but we'll get there. But yeah, no, Tom fucking going to Brittany and being like, well, I have a theory. It's Dolores, and Brittany goes, it's not her. Like it's not her. It's just like ready to be done with the conversation.
It's giving Stassi and Tom. And the way that she like in her confessionals, she's like, it is 9 a.m. and I do not have time for conspiracy theory number 73 from Tom Sandoval.
She's like, I have an actual game to play. It's literally, remember at my bachelorette how we all had to take shifts with Corey on the dance floor? That's what this is like. They're all taking shifts with Tom Sandoval. Like they're like, okay, it's your turn to go listen to one of his theories.
This whole game is giving when you give your little sibling an unplugged game controller.
Oh my God.
Like, yeah, you can play
with
us.
That is so true. That is so fucking funny. And also, I just had the most really honestly fucked up intrusive thought, which was of the Ocean Gate submersible and that being an unplugged game controller and him just finding out once they're already down there. But no, could you imagine? Like, it's not what happened.
I mean,
but like, imagine it's just
partially probably part of it.
He's like, oh crap. he holds up the controller. He's like, oh crap.
Oh yikes.
I knew there was something weird and this wasn't vibrating. And I don't think we're plugged in.
I messed up big time.
So pretty much we're in a free fall right now. Like that would be so crazy.
So pretty much we're toast.
We're pretty much toast. And we're pretty much sleeping with the fishes. No pun intended. Anyway, then Brittany going, it's not her, and Tom going, stop, don't, stop, 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 don't, stop.
He's like, if you interrupt me, my thoughts will stop.
They will go away. No, don't do. And then he's like, shit, what was I saying? Like he loses it. The funniest thing was that he's eating breakfast and he's like standing hunched over the table, and Gabby walks in the room and goes, ugh.
He's like trying to eat fast so he can theorize more because he can't do two things at once. He can't think while he eats. So
I'm
he's
like,
trying
sit
to get
the hell
food
down. I guarantee you your heart rate
table.
needs to be lowered. Can you please go fucking sit down and eat your food, you fucking monster? Like, it's so funny. Everyone's just like, fucking Tom. Like, they're just
I just love that there are also people that have no idea how diabolical this man is. And like, imagine living in that world and watching this and being like,
I'm just being like,
guy.
what's his deal? I saw a Reddit thing, like on the Traders Reddit page, no one knows who Tom is. And so someone's like, this Tom, I hope this Tom guy's brought in all the time. Like it's just so goofy. Like he's such a fucking weird dude. Like what? And someone goes, oh my God, I'm loving it because now he's fully detoxed and sober and he is locked in. He started to realize, wait, we're playing a game.
But
like
he's locked into the wrong
but
combination.
Like to the wrong, like he's sword fighting with the air. Like he's totally, yeah. It's so fucking funny. Okay, so then basically Wes and Derek are like, we're going to get Rob out at the table. And Wes, I'm sorry, this is like, you cannot boast about being this incredible game player if you're going to get to the table and when you say, if you vote for me, I will come for you. I will come for every single one of you who votes for me. In what world is that a good gameplay move? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, you can't brag about your gameplay because in that moment, every single person, especially the women at that table, were like, well, that's all I needed to hear. Like, I think that's a really crazy thing to say. And also you're a faithful, so you can't come for, like, what do you mean you're going to come for each of us? Like, you can't really.
No wonder the people voted for you because they're like, uh-oh.
Like, and it's like, okay, so you're going to be a bad game player because you know we all can't be traitors. So you're going to come for every single one of us and waste all of our time not trying to get the traitors just to get your revenge. Okay, that makes sense. Like, you're such a great game player. Like,
Yeah, he icked me out for sure.
totally did. And I just think, but I did not see a way out for Rob in that moment. Did you?
Me either. No.
I was like,
and that's
there's
why
no way.
I was so like enamored by it, because it was truly like, oh my God.
I literally thought we were going into Rob's funeral when we walked into that round table. And I was just so pleasantly surprised by what ended up happening. And I mean, he made a good point where he was like, yeah, the only reason I'm still here is because I'm really easy for the traitors to frame. And
that was like, it's just a point I never would have thought
and
to
it was
make.
like, and yeah, I mean, yes, like if I'm Boss and Rob now, my thing is, it would be way too obvious for them to make me a traitor. Like,
and especially after the way that, the way Bob used him as a scapegoat, he can go back to that and be like, he was a traitor and he wanted me to be a traitor badly. We just haven't found them yet, but we will.
Yes, exactly. So when Derek takes Brittany after the round table and tells her that he thinks she's a traitor,
I thought that was interesting.
Yeah,
especially when like she was under the impression that like they were gonna have each other's backs.
I know. You know what I think could happen here? Well, and the reason he thinks she's a traitor, I guess, makes sense. Like, she looks at Dylan and she's like, don't vote for Rob, which is crazy because Brittany is such a good game player. So it's like, it just tells you even more how good Rob is.
Did you watch Brittany on Big Brother?
No, but I've done some research on hers and Danielle's season because they have like
they
a
were on
rivalry.
together. They have beef.
Brittany like devastated Danielle.
I remember. Yeah, they mentioned that. Did you watch it? Was Derek on any of the seasons you watched?
No. And I actually, is he a Big Brother guy or is he a challenge guy?
I think maybe he's done both, but I think that's why he and Brittany have their. I think it was like their Big Brother people.
Okay, so I think this would be good if Brittany continues to talk to Carolyn, or if she would go, because I could see her being like, okay, I need help now because I know Derek thinks it's me and he's going to go hard in the paint for me. So I would love it if she goes to Rob with this and is like, I need your help. Like, Derek is going to put it on me. And then Rob can say, okay, great.
And if he can get Derek out, then that's like...
Well, yeah, then Rob needs to go in the turret and say, we need to kill Derek because Derek just said it's Brittany. So now what we can say is, oh my God, Brittany, like, Brittany told me last night. Brittany told me that Derek thought she was a traitor, and now Derek's dead. If I were Rob, that's what I would do.
But don't you also think that could potentially point the finger back on Rob because Derek has gone so hard in the paint about Rob?
It could. That's why I think that the house needs to know that Derek went for Brittany. So I need Brittany to tell at least one person, like, because if she were to tell Rob, I mean, maybe not tonight's kill, but the next, if the next one was Derek, like, he just needs the other people in the house to hear this. But also, if Derek goes, Rob could be like, oh shit, like, Brittany did tell me that, like, Derek thought it was her. And he could do it at the round table and not bring it up to anyone ahead of time. And he could be like, Brittany, I'm not trying to, like, fuck you over, but, like, Derek did tell me that, like, or you did tell me that Derek thought you were a traitor.
Kind of pull like a
now
Kroll.
Derek's dead. Yes,
the
exactly.
way Kroll was like, now I feel safe enough to bring this up.
Yes. So exactly. So if Brittany would bring it up to Rob and say that, and then Rob could be like, I hate to use it against you, but, like, you said that. And, like, now Derek is dead and, like, he was going to come for you. So maybe you're the traitor, And then that way it's like, because that's the only way the suspicion goes off of Rob. So I was so thrilled when Derek said that to Brittany, because I was like, if Derek can get off the Rob scent for even 1 second and tell one other person he thinks it's Brittany, then Rob can be safe and we can get Derek out of there. I think that would be interesting. I don't know. And then I couldn't believe when we get to the second turret, when Carolyn goes, oh, we're just going to go for Danielle now. I was like, which I kind of hope they do.
What do you think the choice to and if they can get Danielle out and then she's to say she's a traitor, then it's like that's pretty major.
Yep.
But what did you think about, why do you think Danielle voted for Rob?
Because I think she thought Rob was going home. And I think Danielle does want to be the only traitor left because then she gets all the money. Because the whole thing is, it's like, if there is even one traitor left, the faithfuls get no money. The traitor gets everything. If it's just the faithfuls left, then they all have to split the money. If there are 4 traitors, or whatever, 3 traitors, 2 traitors even. So, like, I think Danielle is just like, she would like to be the last traitor for sure. Yeah. But she's not doing well. She's not playing a good game. And I just think, like, I would be nervous if I were her, but
When
I would be
they're-
nervous
and
if I
she's
were
not.
Rob.
But she's also like, what's crazy
And
about
she's like,
Danielle is
I know
she
lots.
She thinks she's playing the game really well.
I know.
And the look on Rob's face when Carolyn's like, you did do all this stuff.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, I didn't. And
then she's like, actually, you know what? Yeah, and I do have like she like goes the other. It's like, oh my god.
And then she's like, I said that yesterday. The way that she was like, and
Yes.
I didn't say you were a traitor. I said, what did she say? She was like,
I don't remember.
she said something worse about.
She said that Carolyn put someone else's name out there, and she goes, well, you did. Oh, that's what it is. She goes. Carolyn's like, you told Brittany that I threw her name out there. And Danielle goes, well, you did. And Carolyn goes,
Oh, right.
in the turret.
Yeah,
I did in this
exactly.
fucking room. What am I supposed to go? She's like, well, you did. And that's when Rob was like, oh,
That's- yeah,
he's
because
like,
I think
what
it
are you
even
supposed to hold it against her? Something that was said in the fucking turret. She can't go say to, well, Brittany, I said it in the turret.
I
Like,
don't
what?
yeah, because Carolyn wasn't the like she was like, wait, what?
Because
Why
then
did
Danielle's like,
say
you
that?
lied about it. You shouldn't have lied and said you didn't. And Carolyn's like, what was I gonna say, Danielle?
And no, but Carolyn's also like, what do you? She's still not like because she's so sure that surely
Yes.
you're not talking about the turret conversation.
And
that
when
she's
she
like,
finally
what are you
realizes
talking
it,
about?
that's
and
when-
Danielle's like,
yeah.
you did. You said we should kill her. And Carolyn was
and
like,
that's when Rob is like he cannot believe what he's hearing. Like I'm just like,
and that's where Rob is probably like, wait, yeah, Alan,
can we just
get
can
her out?
production actually get this one? Can we kill Danielle? Can we
Also,
write Danielle's name down on this?
Hey Derek, he better not disrespect my man Alan Cumming ever again.
Oh wait, what did he say about him?
Okay, he didn't really disrespect him, but I felt like he did.
Oh,
He was, which I also didn't realize that you can see Alan sitting in the shadows watching the round
yes,
table.
it's so funny.
And
I love that he like insists on being there.
I love it
Because he
And
doesn't have to be. He could just be somewhere else, but he's like, no, I want to be in the room. Like it's fucking probably.
be in the room
Can you
where it
imagine the
happens.
energy in that room?
Oh my God.
Oh my
And
god.
apparently, I mean, I know that obviously it's longer than what we see, but I didn't realize how much longer it is because Wells was like, there was like a 30-minute conversation where we just let Tom Sandoval like talk about one of his
Well, and
theories.
I'm like, that's also why they need Tom there because Rob's like, yeah, just waste time at the round table. The more time that's wasted, the less time people have to offer
Right.
up genuine theories, you know?
And but Derek was like, I think that this guy behind me, sitting back here behind me, tapped one of you guys to be a traitor.
Oh, yes.
And I was like, he has
You
a
said, do
name.
not bring him into this.
And also he
I
has
know
a name.
this is his show, and this is, according to Caroline, his castle, but do not bring him into this.
And if you do, you better address him properly.
But he does say what we were talking about in the beginning when we were like, oh, if I'm any of these game players, I'm like, we need to go let Rob in because there's no way Rob's not joining and there's no way then he's not going to want revenge for us not letting him in, you know, in the very beginning. And that's exactly what Derek says. He's like, yeah, he's pissed at all of you because you didn't fucking let him in the house. And then this guy behind me made him a traitor. And so now that's what he's doing. And it's like, well, correct. But unfortunately, this is
But
a
I
great
also
example
don't
of
feel- I
men.
don't-
You need to just be less emotional when you share your ideas because maybe we'd take you more seriously, Wes, if you weren't so
But I
aggressive
don't.
and emotional.
I don't feel like Rob is. I don't think Rob has a vendetta against people for not letting him in the house. I haven't gotten that sense from him at all.
Me neither at all. But I think that is if I'm
But
a
the logic makes
faithful,
sense,
I'm
for
going there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. Any other thoughts on traders before we get into our Salt Lake reunion part 2?
No, but I'm ready.
Okay. All right. So I guess let's just start with Meredith. Not Meredith like getting into it with Andy Cohen.
Yeah. And I love
That was
Andy. Andy is so done with
crazy.
them. He was
I
literally
know.
like, this is what this is about. Like, can we just
I
you guys
gen- he
put
goes-
it to rest?
When he goes, oh, this is pointless, or this is a huge waste of time. And then Meredith goes, oh, well, I'm sorry, Andy. It's a huge waste of your time. I mean, she is on one. And I'm like, what does Seth Marks think? Seth Marks is sitting behind her. She
And
gets
he's
up to
like-
leave. She threatens to leave. She's like, unless we talk about the previous seasons that we're not here to talk about, I'm leaving. And he
I
stands
know
up like,
I know people hate Seth, but he is at the end of the day kind of just like a normal guy. That's the thing about all these
Yeah.
husbands is that they are just like normal guys and they
Yes.
married the craziest women on planet
Oh my
Earth.
God. Well, it was kind of funny when Justin and John Barlow like have to speak to their little altercation at Angie's party.
And they're both
it's like
just like,
both,
"Ah."
neither one of them give a shit anymore. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, that. Yeah. It felt way more dramatic in the moment than watching it. And it's like classic man shit. Seems like something that needs to like calls for a few punches and it really doesn't. Are you team Meredith or team Angie on this or team neither?
I'm team I don't care about this. I
Me too.
understand where
It's
Meredith's
not this
coming
season.
from. But Meredith does lose me a bit. And I don't mean to be one of these people who's like, don't get too emotional. But like, if she were coming at it with a little bit more of a level head, I think she'd be able, because I understand maybe where she's trying to get with the argument.
Totally. Yes,
Whereas,
I do.
And like, I think the thing is that the guy who said it, Angie's husband, like he already kind of answered for it. So I think he's kind of like.
And here's the other thing. They're talking about that, but they're also talking about Meredith is like, or Angie's like, you started the rumors that my husband is gay. And Meredith is like, no, I didn't. And we see there's an episode where Monica tells Angie, Meredith told me your husband's gay. And then we see at Greek Easter later, Monica says to Angie, Meredith isn't the one who said that to me. So and Angie is choosing to go with the first one and Meredith is choosing to go with the second one. And so, but it's also like just not relevant.
Caroline, I think you could put yourself in Meredith's shoes a bit here because you are someone who hates being wrong and hates being made to believe that there's a reality that, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Well,
you
Phoebe,
would hate.
Phoebe,
you
I've
would hate-
never been made to believe there's a reality that's not mine. But
You
sure,
would
I hate when people
hate-
try.
You would hate if you knew that there was a clip of what you're saying is happening and they're not showing it.
Yes.
So I could see you potentially getting worked up and being like, I'm not going to do this if you don't show, like, because that would settle it, because Angie is so vehemently choosing to say,
well, and
Monica
then they did show it.
But they only showed the one.
It's
They
not
didn't
to
show the
them.
Greek Easter.
No, they did. They showed both. But I don't think they showed them to the women. Like they
I'm also
played
like,
them
how?
for us.
I need to know how this all works, because Andy clearly has someone in his ear, like from the controller, and I'm like, how do they look up this stuff so quickly to know if certain things do they just have like a PA assigned to each episode and they just have it fucking memorized?
No, but Meredith said that she only agreed to come to the reunion on the contingency that they agreed to show that clip. So she said she was promised that they would be showing the clip. And I'm just like, okay, well, they didn't. They lied to you, like, because they didn't have it ready for that moment, you know, and because we don't get to see their reactions to watching it. So they just showed it to us. Let's move into the Todd, Bronwyn, Gwen conversation. And I want to get into a little bit of the Bravo and Blaze drama, because also, did you notice how uncomfortable Andy is asking Todd a single question? He's like not wanting. He's like, should I be asking you if you cheated on your wife? Like he's like scared to ask Todd.
Because he's the oldest person in the room.
Yes, and even his wife is scared of him. But we get the moment where Andy or someone mentions that Gwen is the one who saw the messages on his iPad or whatever, and Todd's face. It either looked like he didn't know that Gwen's the one who found them. Like, did Bronwyn not tell? Or that he is like, I can't believe you would share that piece of this. Like, we know he obviously didn't want her to share anything. I don't know. What did you make of that? Do you think that it's Bronwyn lied about the entire affair, which is what some people are thinking, and that he has to go with it?
I don't think so. To me, and maybe I need to rewatch it, but I thought it just looked like a real moment of like guilt. Like I thought it just looked like he was like, it was like he put his head in his hands a little bit. Like he was just like, I can't believe that this girl who I love is my own daughter.
Right.
And for all intents and purposes and I'm her dad. Like it's like,
right.
I can't believe that I put her in my family in that position. I didn't see it as like, wait, I didn't know that. And I also didn't see it because I think he probably knew that it was.
I saw it either as like, I felt like that. I feel terrible in this moment, or that he didn't know that Gwen is the one who saw it. Like I don't know. And then Bronwyn looks back at him and is like, it's okay. I'm going to read this caption. So Bravo and Blaze, I guess this Bravo account has like major beef with Bronwyn, and they posted the picture of Todd's face, and this is what the caption says. I don't think Todd ever cheated on Bronwyn. I believe she fabricated the story for a reality TV storyline, just like she exploited her daughter's personal life for attention. It's disgusting to do this to the two people closest to her, all for a show. Rumors say she and the cast are returning next season, but the truth needs to come out. Her behavior insults our intelligence, and on top of that, she runs fake accounts on multiple social media platforms to cyberstalk creators and hype herself up as if she's a fan. This isn't the kind of housewife we want. She's a compulsive liar, and it's truly disturbing and frightening. For the record, Bronwyn took my tweets after episode 7 of this season, twisted my words, and incited a cyber attack on me on Twitter. I never once tagged her or even used her real name, which means she was stalking my accounts. Her attack on me on Twitter, which she claims she's hardly nearly ever on, came just 30 minutes after I tweeted, to which she responded with an attack filled with lies to get people to come at me. Her response was at 5:30 a.m. her time, but she claims she's never on Twitter. She lied and abused her platforms and status as a housewife to attack a content creator and viewer of the show. That is not normal nor decent behavior. Because of her lies, I have had to block more people than I ever had in the 4 years of having my accounts. My podcast rating went from a 4.7 to 3.7 overnight. Something Bronwyn would never understand as being incredibly fucked up because she's never created or built anything of her own. Some of my friends turned against me as well, but I now see that as a blessing in disguise. Bronwyn is reckless and dangerous, and anyone who supports her can unfollow me now because that means you lack basic comprehension and critical thinking skills, and I don't want your nonsense around me. And if you insist on not unfollowing, I will block you. You lost me, bitch. Oof. So, some pretty wild accusations against Bronwyn Newport, who, I don't know. I mean, it's her first season, so I think there's a chance she could be acting crazy and doing that, but some big accusations.
If that's true, do you think that maybe Bryn's just been swept up in the blind items and maybe this is the thing?
Guys, if we're not going to say what it is because even the people tweeting the blind items won't say what it is, but if this blind item about Roni and specifically Bryn turns out to be true, we are going to have such a field day.
And I think I am going to have to go back and watch the season of Roni.
I do
because
too.
Apparently the end of it was so good.
Well, it was so boring, and then everyone's like, the ending was so good and the reunion is so good, and people do want us to talk about, so we might have to do a little bit of watching this week for next week's episode.
I probably will.
Yeah.
I need to really go back and like watch all of Roni. I know that like I can just for the cultural lexicon, but I know that I can just hop in at I could probably just watch this season. But I do want to go back and watch.
Yeah, me too. You know what else was interesting is Chloe Fineman went on Watch What Happens Live with Mary, and Chloe Fineman like hates Bronwyn and like talked so much shit on her. And Andy seemed to love Chloe and love having her there. And Mary seemed to love Chloe.
How did Mary react to what she was saying about Bronwyn?
She was like, Mary, you know.
I don't think she
How
cares. How do you feel about
Bronwyn.
it? Because you like Bronwyn.
I like Bronwyn, and I'm going to continue to like Bronwyn. I mean, I don't have a problem liking problematic housewives. Like I'm not watching them to be like moral pillars, you know. That's not the point. So I like the messy behavior. I don't care. And actually I do think it's kind of more likable that she didn't buy that $4 million necklace. Like I feel like her having something smaller being made and then Lisa doing all that and Bronwyn deciding not to buy it, like maybe it's a gotcha moment, maybe it's not.
But
either way, fair, I don't care.
Bronwyn did bring it up.
Yeah,
not
totally.
to be the Lisa apologist, but it's Lisa
I don't
didn't
care.
Charge into that conversation.
Like
I think if what that person said is true, my issue will be she touts herself to be this real like different kind of housewife.
Right.
And if you're not, just be that. Like if you are just as messy and like narcissistic as all of them, just be that. That's the thing. That's what consistently for me keeps Lisa in somewhat good graces with me, even when she's doing wrong.
She is herself.
She is Lisa Barlow, and she's nothing else, and she's not trying to be anything else. Whereas the other housewives, I don't see that all the time.
Right.
Which is why, like, when it turned into this right couch, left couch sort of thing, when I'm looking at the couch with Heather, Meredith, and Lisa, they're the ones I feel are the realest.
Right. I agree with you, honestly.
And other than Mary and Angie, I would feel they're the two.
They're real, but they're not like related. Like they're real, but they're not like on planet Earth. You know what I mean? Like they are true to themselves, but they're not like, they don't make sense in the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're like.
What's crazy is I actually think Wild Rose is the most normal of all of them, probably.
I think that's probably
And Heather. They're probably the most
true.
normal.
Yeah, maybe, but I could see Angie being normal.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
In
know.
a
I don't
kooky
know.
way, though.
Maybe not. I mean, she's definitely kooky, but yeah. I thought that we got to talk about Mary and Robert Jr. in this episode, and I thought it was really amazing. I was wondering kind of how that conversation ended up getting to camera and how that sort of went. And I thought it was really cool that Mary, let us know that she and Robert talked beforehand. She knew something was up. They decided to show this. So she didn't just barge in his room, without his knowledge, but she did not know what he was going to tell her. And so, what we saw there, although they knew they were going to have the conversation, I think it's really admirable that Robert Jr. agreed to do that. And then I think it's even more admirable that he went into it and told her everything. And it shows, like, Mary has this great line where, like, I did really love Mary this season. And when she says, my job as a mother is not to stop him from, like, I'm not going to be able to stop him from doing everything that I disagree with, but I am, my job is to make sure that he feels like he can come to me with anything and I will never judge him. And I think it's clear that she's done that, like the fact that he shared all of that with her, I just think is really amazing. And like their story has touched so many people. And I'm sure, we even just see on the show, Whitney talking about how it opened up the conversation with her kids about her father and like all this stuff. So I just thought that was really commendable. And I am, praying for his continued sobriety.
I agree. I'm here for Mary. You guys know I've always loved her.
Yes. Let's talk about the Charleston shows. So wait, are you watching Southern Hospitality? You're watching the older seasons now? Where are you with this?
I'm not any farther than I was last time we talked.
Okay.
I didn't watch this week's episode just because I didn't watch any of my shows live this week, so I really just got the ones I needed to out of the way.
Well, I would like you to prioritize Southern Hospitality because I think it might be the best show on Bravo. I think it might, I look forward to the show now way more than Southern Charm. I don't know. It is, and that seems to be the consensus online. People are like, Southern Hospitality is the VPR. Like, the drama of this last week's episode was that Emmy didn't show up for her shift and she got written up by her 21-year-old manager. Like, that is like the primary drama. She doesn't show up for her shift and then she walks by Republic to go to Hall's Chop House with her boyfriend and they all see her and they're like, she just fucking walked by. Like, she's fine. Like, whatever. And it is so good. It is so good. We're getting the young, dumb, and broke working in hospitality. It's a gold mine. It's a gold mine. I wasn't sold on it season 1. Again, I didn't even watch season 2, but I think you can jump in at season 3 and just take Emmy Sherritt for what she is, which is a reality TV like starlet. She is living in a world of delusion that is unattainable to the modern woman. Like, I couldn't get there if I wanted to. And I want better for her. But she doesn't. She's very happy where she is. So I'm going to let her be there as long as she wants to. And we're going to get a Sheena Shea career out of this girl.
Love it.
And I'm
Love
here
that
for it. I'm
her.
seated for it. Southern Charm, what did you think of Craig offering Austin $30,000 for the podcast?
Well, I wanted to offer you something similar.
Oh, did you? Don't lowball me. Not Craig on camera having the conversation with his business partner. He's like, yeah, we can give him 30 to 50. And Craig is like, yeah, I'll go with 30. And then Andy brings it up on Watch What Happens After the Show to Austin.
What ended up happening with that? He didn't take it.
No, it was a weird
I am
thing.
a little bit like, Austin, I don't know if I understand that you didn't expect Shep to go, but you guys are like buds.
Here's my
all
question.
3 of you.
Do you think, because we have the lunch with Shep and Austin, which, by the way, Shep, you're out of your gourd. Like, Shep sounds...
Break up with this girl.
So crazy. I can't... he sounds so insane. Okay, moving on from that. But Shep and Austin are at lunch, and Craig calls Austin. Austin's like kicking his feet, giggling, smiling, has butterflies when he sees Craig's name on his phone. And Craig asks him to hang out, and Austin's like, oh my God, like... Yes, like I love, and it's honestly this really sweet moment where I was like, okay, I'm kind of excited for them. And then is that the hangout that we see where
I guess that's a good point. I think it is.
It turns out to be an impromptu business meeting that Austin didn't know he was going to, and Craig brings Shep. And Austin thought like, oh my God, I can't wait to hang out with my best friend. But I don't know if it's the same hangout though. That's certainly how it is
They want
framed
us
on the
to
show.
think that for sure. I don't know.
Craig is like, ugh, in this episode, I just feel like he looks ridiculous a little bit. Like he's
yeah,
just,
I agree.
I'm just not, and especially just now knowing what we know, I'm like, it's just a tough watch.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite as tough as Vanita and JT though.
JT, are you fucking kidding me? You
That
haven't
was-
mentioned your girlfriend one time this season.
If I'm your
Even your
girlfriend,
mom.
So I've watched the episode twice now. The first time I watched it, I guess I looked away when they showed the photos of him and the girlfriend because I was so convinced when I got off this that there is no girlfriend. This doesn't exist. He made this up. There is no girlfriend. Because I'm like, if I am the girlfriend and I fucking watch this show back, we're breaking up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're breaking up. What are you doing, you fucking weirdo? This is what I was telling you. Everything he says sounds like it is written in a script ahead of time.
And the way, I mean, clearly he's, and what he says to Vanita, he's like, I am like into you, but I am seeing
He
someone,
brings up the
basically.
conversation. He comes over and he's like, so am I crazy? Or like, there's so much chemistry here. We're both feeling each other. And she's like, I didn't know if you were going to bring it up, but like, yeah. And then like, what?
Like, what? Are you insane?
I mean, it was just, and I'm like, and this is how we're ending the episode with this point. Like, you wasted my time. Except for it wasn't a total waste of time because I do just love any moment we get to spend inside of Anita's little southern oasis. I love her house so much.
It's so cute. And I am a little bit like, I'm glad now everybody, including Vanita, everybody can just go like full throttle towards like,
Yes.
fuck JT for the rest of the
Yes.
season.
Well, and
Because
he's
that
not
is
coming
so
back,
shitty.
and that's good because we don't. Because I was like, well, what's gonna happen if he and Vanita
Will
have
he
like
come
a
to
lot
the
of people
reunion?
think. Oh God, probably a lot of people think the entire Vanita JT storyline was staged and that the two of them came up with it together for a storyline. But I don't know. It seemed like Vanita was a little bit giddy over him. I
thought
don't
so
know.
too, especially the way that she was talking about him with Leva. It was literally like,
yeah. And then she
And
like
I
leans over,
don't-
she's like, JT look kind of yummy in that shirt. I was dying.
yeah, like I definitely buy it. I don't think it was a storyline.
Yeah.
And I think it wouldn't have ended like this if it was.
And
'cause it's
also-
it's been a 2-episode arc basically.
Yes. And also, if he has a girlfriend, I don't see Vanita being like, yeah, for our storyline, why don't we be flirting?
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean? Like, I just don't see that.
I definitely
if
think he
she
was
didn't
trying to
know.
keep it close to his chest.
Yes,
for the
for sure.
season.
And so close, in fact, that it seems like his mother didn't even know.
Right.
Not his mother calling him and saying, how's your fiance?
About
and meaning
Vanita.
Vanita. Like,
Crazy.
that's crazy. Did you
And-
watch?
Well, wait, let's talk about We're Not Crazy. Sally also picked up on maybe Shep and Molly a little bit.
Yes. I
I
think
like
we're going to
Sally.
see. I like her too, but I didn't like that both of them, I thought their boobs were at danger of falling out of their shirts at any moment.
Fair enough. I did like those chairs.
It is amazing that there are women out here in this world that can wear a cropped white tank that is loose at the bottom with no bra. Like, I'm like, what the hell is that like? Because let me tell you, I'd be behind bars. Like, I wouldn't make it off of my street without being apprehended by the police.
By the way,
If I
need you
tried to wear that.
I need you to watch that. People would think that you were like.
You need me to take pictures wearing a cropped
happening.
white tank? Okay, I knew you were going to say that.
No, can you watch that TikTok I sent you because I need to know if I want to buy that bra
Yeah, I will watch it. I will.
because I need one bad. Did you read what I said? That what Mom said?
I started reading it, but then we had to get on here, so I will though. Yes.
But I just hope that Shep can like get out of this little thing with Sienna and like come back down to
Yes.
earth and then grow up a little bit and
Yes.
he and Molly like get married. And
I'm
Sally
also like
agrees.
Shep. The only reason Shep that you even like this girl is because she's not giving you the time of day,
right.
and you know she's not really interested in you. Like, you're such a dog, so it's so hard to feel bad for him when it's just like,
Mhm.
okay, I don't know, but I would like for him and Molly to be together as long as he's a reformed fuckboy and he's not going to be up to his old tricks
totally
anymore.
agree.
And if there's any danger of that, stay the hell away from her.
The
That's how I
last thing
feel.
I'll say about all that is about the episode is I need to hang out with Pat and Madison.
I thought the same thing, and like, I want to hang out with Madison so bad. And I was like, I love their relationship. I love how they are. It reminds me a little bit of me and my friend Margaret, who is like a mom of 3. And she was like a big time lawyer, and then she decided she really missed theater, and she started taking classes at CFC while I was there, and we became like BFFs. And I would just go to her house down on Lower King. It was this gorgeous house, and we would drink Vouv, and we would just hang out.
Which must be a Charleston thing. Mom and I were talking about that. We were like, every time we watch them, even when they're just like in regular clothes in Vanita's house,
That's what
they're
they're
always
drinking.
drinking Vouv.
Vouv is like, I mean, I drank it all the time. I loved it. I still do. But Margaret and I would just like drink Vouv all the time. And I'll never forget when my ex-boyfriend, who had broken up with me to go study, or not study abroad, go backpacking through Europe by himself, he comes back unexpectedly and texts me, and I'm with Margaret, and we're drinking Vouv, and I'm at her house, and it's like a Saturday night. And I was like, oh my fucking God. And I start freaking out. And I was like, I can't hang out with him. She's like, you have to. And I was like, I can't. My legs aren't shaved. And she goes, let's go upstairs. I'm going to shave your legs. And she was like, I'm going to shave your legs. Like, I will do it for you. I was like, I don't want to. She goes, I will do it. I was like, Margaret, no. I mean, she was like such a mom to me when mom wasn't there too. Like, when I had really bad cat allergies, she'd like drive over medicine in the morning to my dorm. Like, she's just so sweet. But she was like this sophisticated, rich woman who I just wanted to be just like her. And I love her so much. She's such an important person to me, but it reminds me of their relationship. And I was like, maybe that's just like the Charleston way.
And I also just love that for Pat, because like I feel like Pat has to be kind of lonely, especially now that what was his name?
Her former butler.
Yes.
Yeah.
Since he's passed, like it must be lonely there, especially when Whitney's not there. Like,
I know.
And the fact that Madison like prioritizes going
It's
over
so
there, and like it's
special.
not like she's in any sort of rush. She's like, let's
Right.
get comfortable and talk.
Yes,
And I love it.
and
I'm not humoring you by being here.
When Pat goes, let's go in your room. And like Madison has like her room there that like they get in the bed and just, it's just so cute. And it's like, yes, they're there to film, but it's so obvious. Pat's not turning it on for the cameras, you know,
No.
like it's so obvious. This
And
is,
we
like,
know
a
that
habit
because
for them.
of the amount of gossip that she says on camera. And then she's like, I shouldn't have said that.
Whitney asked me not to say that, but he won't watch this. It's so funny. And
Because,
Madison's
guys,
always like, okay.
We find out that Sienna made a pass at Whitney before Shep, which I am like, how, if you're Shep, how do you feel?
And I'm also like, if you're Sienna, in what world are you going for Whitney first?
That's
Shep
what I'm
is
saying.
your easiest in. No, but Shep is
also-
just like the easiest person to fuck out of the
Yeah,
group.
yeah.
Like
Yeah,
anyone in
that's true.
Charleston can have sex with Shep if they want.
Oh my God.
That's like his whole thing. Did you watch What Happens Live with Austin and Pat?
I didn't watch all of it because again, I didn't watch this stuff live, but I
Okay, well, we
obviously
have-
saw the clip.
We must discuss his comments on Page. So a fan calls in, braver than the troops, doing the Lord's work. A fan calls in and says, were you surprised by the rumors about Paige already being moved on with another man? And Austin fucking Kroll the Warrior King, says, well, I don't think they're rumors.
Which, by the way, everybody, our mom hates his Instagram handle. She says it every time she sees
Really?
it. I hate Austin's username on Instagram.
I hate Austin, honestly. I mean, sometimes I do think he's funny.
Like, I
when
like
he and
the scene of
Madison
him and
hang out,
Madison.
and Madison's like, "Isn't it just better we're just girlfriends?" I thought it was like so funny. But I am like, if I'm Bo, I'm like, we're not doing that. Like, that's not. Wait, not Bo. That's Brett?
What's his
God,
name?
Sorry.
I
Brett.
think he's so. I don't think Brett cares. I think he's like, I am.
Well, it seemed
so
like he
much of
cared
an-
about the JT thing.
Yeah, but I don't know if he actually. I think that was all blown out of proportion.
I mean, but they did FaceTime him. And that makes me feel like there's something weird there. Like, why was Brett, like, needing to know who was in Madison's room? Like, don't you trust her? That's why they
Yeah.
call it JT, so JT could say who was in the room. JT turned it into, he thought me and Madison were having sex. But it
Yeah.
really was just like, I think he wanted to know if Austin was in the room. You know? So it was
I
like,
just feel like Madison is so, and I hope that Brett realizes this. I feel like Madison is so not the same person that was
No.
ever interested in Austin, that it is
No.
like so compartmentalized. She doesn't.
yes.
She
she's
would
also,
never.
this is the life she's always wanted. She's so happy to have it. Like, I just don't
And
think
she's
she's
so in
jeopardizing
love
it.
with him, like so
Yes.
in love with Brett.
Yeah. But so he says they're not rumors. I think they've been proven to not be rumors. I think Paige has come out and said they're not rumors, and Craig is aware. Yeah. And I'm just like, Austin, this is why people fucking can't stand you. But it's why Bravo will never fire you, because you just say all the shit you're not supposed to say. He just went on a podcast as well, and he's speaking on the same thing. Like, he was talking about whatever. I'm like, dude, this isn't even your relationship. And I honestly don't know what the status of your friendship with Craig is right now. So I feel like this is like a weird thing for you to be doing. And we all knew that Paige was not going to allow this man to speak on her without saying something. And I didn't feel like I feel like she could have done better work with her comment. Her comment was, yes, a man I haven't spoken to in 6 months knows exactly what I'm doing. And I don't know that comment shuts it down the way she thinks it shuts it down.
I agree, which is her whole thing right now.
I know, like, and all her like TikToks where she's like, suck my dick, like the Leah Kateb sound bite that's like, suck my dick, make me mean, and whatever it is, like, make it worse or whatever. Like, it's like, I know you're like in your bad bitch villain era, but it's not looking good. Also because your show isn't on yet, Paige. Right now, Craig is the one that we're seeing. And by the way, Craig goes on Watch What Happens this week. I'm nervous and excited.
Wait. We got to figure out when Summer House is on. What does that imply?
I want to say, is it the 9th? It can't be the 9th. What day is
That's a
the
Sunday.
9th? Okay, so it's got to be like
I thought it was the 6th, but that means that I don't think they're putting that on the same day.
It could be the same night as Southern Charm.
The 12th.
And
next Wednesday. Wait, but you said next week?
Oh, so we're getting the finale of the reunion of Salt Lake this week, and then it'll be replaced with Summer House next week.
Perfect.
Craig is going on Watch What Happens on Thursday after
the
Southern
6th.
Charm.
Okay.
So right before Summer House, which means we're gonna get Paige any minute now.
Oh
which
my God.
which is great. I hope they're trying to get her in quick.
I know Andy loves Paige, but I am a little bit like, is he gonna have the way that he's been feeling about the Salt Lake women a little bit with Paige?
Well, I'm just excited to see him kind of come for Paige and give her a hard time, because she's gonna have to answer the questions, and like she can give her like fuck everyone, like but like she's at work when she's on Watch What Happens, and I think
Andy
that,
also doesn't love
he's
when
gonna
people
challenge
do that.
her. No,
and also Andy's kind of in, I feel like, his I don't give a fuck era right now. Like
he's like the faces when he's like, okay,
he's
and
like
I mean, the
clocking
faces
into
he was
work,
making when
and
Austin was saying Andy's face, he was like, he could not believe his ears that Austin was saying all this. Anyway, so God, lots of stuff going on. This was a packed pop culture, but it's time to get into our rotations. So I think I'm first.
You are.
All right, first up on my dream rotation is Stassi Schroeder. I am holding out hope that we will get to hang out with her one day. She's someone that I just feel in my heart I was meant to be friends with, and I think we'd have a really beautiful relationship. So Stassi, mostly for the Wicked birthday party, but just kind of for everything. I'm also putting Uncle Bob. Do you follow Uncle Bob and Tegan on TikTok?
Oh, wait, yeah, you sent me. I don't follow them, but you've sent me the videos.
Oh, my God. Uncle Bob.
I love guys like that. I know that
he looks like Drew Starkey.
Yes, he does. I know that people hate. I know that there's that thing that it's like, if a guy is like too obsessed with being an uncle, it's like a red flag. You know what I mean? Like if a young guy like is like, yeah, like my nieces and nephews, like I'm such a like.
I am a little worried because I'm like, he's a menace in the streets.
Exactly, but there is something about like it gives me like, Connor Wood, Fibula, like goofy guys like that who can just hang out with kids and like it's like so sweet. I do love that.
And it's so cute because like you can tell that Tegan's just like so confident and like she's not like he just like, I don't know. I think they have the cutest little relationship. I love their videos. I think she is such a cute kid. She like looks like a little adult. She's so fucking cute and funny. I mean, she's obsessed with flyaways in her hair, and she's doing her hair and she's looking in the thing and she goes, it's so ginormous messy. And it's just so cute. And for Christmas, she got the like day styling wand that like tames your flyaways. She got that for Christmas because she like can't stand having flyaways. I love it. And then finally on my dream rotation is Emmy Sherritt, because girl, what you are doing for us on reality television is not lost on me. Okay? It is not lost on me. I want you out of that relationship, but not until you want to be, because I am here to watch. I am here to watch. Okay, girl? I mean, her full on Delulu saying Will worships the ground I walk on. Will is literally obsessed with me. And he is like actually actively cheating on her. They're talking about it on the show. He's talking to all of her best friends saying, I think she's anorexic. She works out too much. I don't see my life with her. Like all these things. And then she goes in her fucking confessionals and says, this man worships the ground I walk. Like it is just giving such Sheena Shea levels of delusion, and you're missing it. So start watching season 3. Fuck the other seasons. It doesn't matter. Okay. Prioritize it. All right. That's my dream rotation.
My nightmare rotation is my skin.
Oh my God.
I'm really struggling right now.
Do you have the skin of a killer? Do you not want to talk about it on here, on air?
No, I was
that you have
just
the skin of a killer?
I was just showing you my skin.
I was just making a joke. You didn't even laugh at the Pretty Little Liars joke I just made.
Well, I don't have the skin of a killer, so it's not really a joke. Not really funny.
Oh, actually, I'm so sorry to accuse you of homicide. I really shouldn't have done that. At the end of this episode, accuse you of murder. Wow.
My skin, I'm washing it. I'm doing the things. I've been in kind of a bad mood, so maybe I am getting my period, but I feel like I just had it. So
I just got mine, and I felt like I was super late on it. And so maybe you'll get yours since we're talking now.
Right.
Since we're talking now, our pheromones are interacting.
Yes. Well, I don't know what it is, but I am annoyed. Maybe it's because I've been like, I got back into my groove of working out. Maybe I've been sweating more and it was kind of hotter this week. I don't know. Anyway, my skin looks bad. Next is,
I think you look beautiful.
Thanks.
I'll never say that again. I will literally never make that mistake again. You should see the eat shit look she just gave me. All right.
Next is Apple TV. And listen, I don't actually hate that they're making me wait a week because it is a nice Friday thing to have, like, on Fridays after work. Yes. I can watch Severance and like order food and sit on my couch and watch an hour of great television. Better. But then when it's over, I'm like, especially this week was such a cliffhanger. It's like, but I saw this tweet the other day that was like, America is never stronger than when there is an HBO original series airing on Sunday nights.
Yes, I think I retweeted that. Yes,
because exactly. It's true. I remember
The Undoing.
The Undoing was really a prime example, but also Big Little Lies. Like,
Big
we
Little
just
Lies.
rally around, like, especially Euphoria kind of did it for younger people.
Yes,
but
and I believe it will do it again.
No, but there's something different about a show that is targeted in a more general way. Like, Euphoria is like 20-something teen targeted. Parents,
it's like too much for a lot of adults to watch.
Adults aren't watching it, whereas like The Undoing, Big Little Lies, like all of these shows are things that, like The White Lotus, like when that comes back, it really does strengthen our nation and our world.
It's true. No, it is true.
But anyway, Apple TV is only on it because some streaming service, like, I don't like that no streaming service has, like, it's like everybody does it differently when there's a new show that comes out. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Anyway.
Can we set a standard, please?
Last is Wes.
Oh yeah. Well, that makes total freaking sense.
Just because, like, I never want to hang out with him. He looks miserable and so annoying.
I'm like, I don't think anybody I don't think anyone was even sad getting you out when they realized you were a faithful, because they were like, well, whatever, not fun to play with. Mm-hmm. And he wasn't a team player. He wasn't trying to play for him. And the fact that he immediately said he was going to come for everyone, like, that's just, I'm sorry that it's not amateur hour and you're acting like it is.
Mm-hmm.
You're acting like it is. I love it. All right. Well, lots was covered in this episode. We're going to watch the Grammys tonight, so make sure you're following our social media. That's where we'll probably put our Grammys thoughts, since next week none of you will care about it. And next week is our Super Bowl themed episode, of course.
Right. Caroline and I actually, this is where we announce. You know how
partnership with ESPN.
Nickelodeon does their SpongeBob and Patrick commentate the Super Bowl.
Oh my God, I cannot believe you're dropping this news right now.
We have been hired by Bravo.
Oh my God.
To be their sports correspondents.
Oh my God.
And we will be commentating and calling the Super Bowl on Bravo.
We will be likening all of the plays, all of the things we're seeing happening on screen. We'll be liking them to famous housewife feuds, famous housewife moments. Like, you guys are not going to be able to get enough of this. And we're going to be able to do it live because we know sports so well. We know football like the back of our hand, okay? We know it inside and out. And so that's why they chose us. I don't feel like we should have to explain it. That was kind of rude of you guys to ask.
I do feel, in all seriousness, not that what we just said wasn't serious, I do think it would be cool for Bravo to do
Exactly what we just
to air the
described.
Super Bowl with like
That-
have different Bravo celebrities calling the game.
That would be neat, but like, could you imagine?
That's what I mean.
Teresa Giudice, will you please come call the Super Bowl? We
Mary
need you.
Cosby. Miriam
Teresa
Cosby.
Giudice and Miriam Cosby. Done. Done. Okay, I'm seeing dollar signs. Okay.
And who's on the sidelines? Well, no, here's the thing. Unlike other broadcast networks who send someone down to the sideline to be a sideline correspondent, we're going to install a zip line for Mary.
Well, obviously, because we're respectful.
So between the quarters, she'll be able to zip line down and then be lifted back up somehow.
There was a moment on Watch What Happens where it was the game was, does Mary regret it? And Andy was asking Chloe Fineman, like, here's an instance, does Mary regret this? And one of the things he said was ziplining. Does Mary regret it? And Chloe goes, yes. And Mary goes, oh no, I love ziplining. No, I love ziplining. And it was so fucking funny. And I was like, Chloe, do you even watch? You're gonna talk this much shit on Bronwyn and you don't even know that Mary loves ziplining? How about, by the way, guys, Heather Gay reposting our Heather Gay meme. It is like, okay, are we the lost culture? He says we can't talk shit on these people because what if they see it? But that's fine with me. That's fine with me. Bronwyn Newport also, this is kind of funny, the first person to watch our story.
Yeah, but she didn't like or do anything with it.
Well, I think she was annoyed with it because we mentioned I put Bronwyn and then $4 million necklaces in the inflatable costume. I know she didn't buy it. I was just like, it's funny that she likes both of those things. That was like the joke. So she was the very first person. I put that one on our story.
Do you think she was the person?
First person to watch it.
Do you think it was a bot that commented? Well, Bronwyn didn't even buy the necklace, so it was a bot.
Well, it wasn't
it
wasn't Bronwyn.
But that's what I'm saying. But the
We're just
person that
catching strays. Yeah,
you
probably.
read that thing. It was one of Bronwyn's fake accounts.
Any of our but why would Bronwyn post that? Is what I'm saying.
That's what
why
I'm saying.
would Bronwyn go on a fake account and write she didn't buy it?
Because they were saying it in a way of like it was a pro Bronwyn comment.
Oh, I didn't think it was.
Because then the rest of the thread they were throwing strays at Lisa.
Really? Because I thought they were throwing.
No, I think they were
talking
like
shit on Bronwyn.
I think they were like, people are giving her so much shit for this $4 million necklace, and it's like she didn't even buy it, so just like leave it alone. That's the sense I got. Maybe I'm wrong.
Interesting. We read that differently, but that's okay. That's okay. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for listening. Let us know what you thought. Let us know if you're tuning in to anything that you think we should be tuning into. And of course, if you see any hard-hitting journalism this week, you need to send it to us. You guys are boots on the ground.
But we are kind of tired of Justin and Blake, guys. Just a word.
Yeah,
to the
that
wise.
I think I'm pretty much done with. So you guys can go check out our Patreon episode we just released or our previous deep dives. But that might be it for a little while on us on that, unless we get any big updates that we just want to reference. But deep dives, I just think I realize, okay, I'm not a lawyer and there's a reason for that. I don't want to read this all the time. And that's what the reason is. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening. Please, if you would, take a second, leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and tell all your friends about us. It shouldn't take you that long. We love you so much, and we will see you next week.
And splat.
Splat.